Alright, Lancers, so today we are showcasing the brand new characters over on Bleach Brave Souls, our first ever Magic Society summons. If you haven't already seen my summons, by the way, we did go ahead and do 25 steps, so recommend you not check it out if you haven't already. But our first character to showcase today is going to be the new ASKIN. Now his third character in Brave Souls, but his first playable spiritual pressure unit. Now one thing I will say in terms of the design, I think it's actually really cool. I think his design is quite tame compared to the other two characters, but ASKIN is serving as the alchemist of this universe. And you know what, his design kind of fits the bill in all honesty. It looks like his powers all stem from this flask that he does have a red gemstone in. And I think one of the cooler parts, a nice detail, is the pattern of this character's coat, as it does resemble his Volstanic design. At least the Quincy wings in particular. You can see it on the back, on the front, and also on the cloak below too. Now, with that said, ASKIN is a very simple character, but he does have a decent amount of stuff going for him, because the best way to describe him in all honesty is that he's a farming character. That's the main reason why you are going to use him, and if you don't care about farming in this game because maybe you've already done it, then maybe this character doesn't have much value for you. But hopefully we're here to demonstrate that, you know what, he's maybe more than just a Linksort farmer. But if that's all you care about, the reason why you would want to use him is that you are guaranteed 10 speed super Linksort potions, 5 normal Linksort potions, and also 30% droplets. So he increases the drop rate for all 3 of them. And that in of itself is actually very good. Because he is a farming character, that means you want to use him in epic raids. That means you want to use him in Linksort trials. More so single player Linksort trials, but I guess co-op is also an option if you can get a room open. And because Linksort trials and technically also epic raids is somewhat easy, in all honesty, his damage output doesn't even matter all that much. And this character could have been given Frenzy +1, and in reality, it wouldn't matter that much, because the content you want to take him in is actually relatively easy. But if we were to have a close look at the character, right, he's a Technique Quincy Stammeter, and that's quite noteworthy, because we are going to take him into Senkamon later in the video. He has 2 killers, which is kind of a rarity nowadays. No killer plus, but that's why he has 2 killers, being Soripa and also Aranka. Alongside that, there's a lot of doubles with this character, right? He has 2 soul traits, strong attack damage and also recharge. That's great for himself, but also makes him a pretty good link for any future Technique character. In terms of damage output, the character has an 80% spiritual pressure boost with an increased stat summon chance against speed attribute enemies. This is to the entire attribute, not restricted to killer like we see very often with a lot of characters nowadays. And this can still be useful, right? I mean, it's not as ideal in Guild Quest content, but outside of Guild Quest in Linksort trials, epic raids, even to a certain extent Limit Breaker quests, but especially Senkamon, this character is always going to have his increased stat summon chance, regardless of the enemies you are up against. But alongside that, he has Frenzy +2, a good Berserker value at 60%, and also 2 more damage buffs that he does get the more enemies defeated. After 20 enemies defeated, he gets 20% more strong attack damage. After 40 enemies defeated, he gets an additional 20% strong attack damage that he can give to your entire team. Alongside that, he's also immune to every stat summon, so you have an overall just solid character in all honesty. And despite him being a Linksort farmer, which again I understand isn't really sought after as much nowadays, Caleb are adding things to him to make him feel more like a special character, right? He has the enemies defeated bonuses, he's immune to every stat summon, he has 2 killers, 2 soul traits. You don't get that normally with a Linksort farmer. And while we can't test the character today, I think it's worth mentioning that he might be a budget option if you are lacking the best lead in the range Soripa Guild Quest and also the ranged Aranka Guild Quest. Because at least as of right now, he is the second best character, second to Bambi, second to Giselle, for those respective Guild Quest phases. So despite him not being made for Guild Quest, he is an all-in-one package unit to a certain extent. In a way, you can look at him as the jack of all trades, master of none. And while a lot of us endgame accounts might not even get a use out of this character, I feel like new players, this character can be actually really solid to play with. And when it comes to how to build this character, it's fairly simple. Go with a Quincy Cross, a Fortification Pill, and a Cape Fastener, and that has you covered anytime you use this character. No need to change it. For links, go with your best links possible, recharge and extra damage. In my case, I'm going with Halibel and Uryu, giving recharge and strong attack damage at full stamina, and also Chad, a very good link that you can now obtain from Senkamon, recharge and also more damage at full stamina. Bonus abilities throughout the entire video, we're just going to go full stamina and long stride because I personally like long stride on my characters. Overall though, it looks like we have above 1000 focus, 6000 spiritual pressure, and over 2000 attack. The stamina and defense stats are nice, but let's just focus on the damage output part. Alright, so first up, let's take him into Linksort Trials, because technically this is the best way to use him. Now, currently we are in the co-op Linksort Trials, so keep that in mind, but the way you're going to farm potions in this game, if you are farming it through Linksort Trials, will be in the single player quest, because it's just more efficient. with the way they had the co-op lobby set up, there's 5 attributes available at a time. Most people don't farm in co-op anymore, and it's just ultimately better to do it in single player. So the rewards will be a tad bit higher. But obviously, this character can clear co-op Links or Trials fast. Obviously, he's going to clear single player Links or Trials super fast. And one of the bigger criticisms with this character was the strong attack hit. And you know, it's not the best. His SA1 is a range collision attack. Actually, the same attack that he does have against, or very similar to Aaroniero. Although it does hit a tad bit less since it has a lower magnification. Aaroniero does hit harder on that SA1, despite regardless of his stats more so. But honestly, 1 out of 5, he's clearing this fast. It's actually very good. He's able to get the status procs right away. Being able to clear multiple waves is actually very good. And he's a safe character to use too. I mean, if we do take damage, we are losing a bit of full stamina. But honestly, it's fine. If anything, the increased stat and chance to inflict poison plus is actually quite good, especially if you haven't worked on the character that much. Because in content like this, for example, the boss is just going to take a lot of damage from the poison. So you'll see that someone didn't kill that, but, you know, the poison damage is doing some pretty good shit damage. And we can just finish up with our strong attacks. In terms of animations, I actually do like what he has going for him. I like the SA1 look. I like the SA2. Most of all, I like the strong attacks, especially that SA3. Sobum, on the other hand, though, compared to the other two, it's definitely the least impressive looking. But he is, in a way, the least impressive looking, given his power set. He's just an alchemist. So in this case, at least in co-op Links or Trials, we cleared in 1 minute and 29 seconds. And then these are the drops that we are getting. But remember, you are likely want to play this in single player because it's just much faster. And you can also do 10 times soul tickets. But for this particular run, we were increasing the droplet drop rate by 30%, the Links or Potion drop rate by an additional 5, and the Super Links or Potion drop rate by an additional 10. So yeah, in all honesty, I don't think his strong attack kit holds him back all too much, at least in this particular content. When it comes to Guild Quest content, whenever we do showcase him there in our own separate video, it might be a bit awkward, in all honesty, especially with the lack of crowd control, since he doesn't have Poise Break, but again, he's not designed for those game modes. If he can at least be decent in there, that's going to be relatively fine. But for content like this, I mean, you're seeing him kind of breeze through this super quick. No struggle whatsoever. Besides now with the lack of cooldown. I mean, his cooldowns are fine, but we just simply ran out of strong attacks. SA3 feels very powerful to use there, by the way, where we actually can one-shot the boss. And given that some bosses here are swordbearers, his killers seem appropriate. I mean, it could have been human and also sword, but that might have been better since he's supposed to only be using this quest. And this quest doesn't have enemies change over. But that's fine. Honestly, it's not that big of a deal. As long as he can get the potions, that's the main thing about him. So once more, going into the final stage. Let's go down here to not get hit by humans. So bomb. And then finish up with the SA2. Just seems like it's better for us to use our strong attacks than it is to use our soul bomb. And remember, this character does get better as you continue through the quest, as we do pick up an additional 40% strong attack damage. 20% of that we do give to our team. So in this case, for our second run, a 1 minute and 2 second play time. I feel like we could definitely get a sub 1 minute because we haven't been using our soul bomb correctly. Let's make this our final run. So SA1, can we use our SA3 here? I think the immunity that this character does have is actually very good. Very nice to see this, but kind of becoming the norm. Very similar to Isane. Seems like new super links or farmers are going to have like just all stars immunity. Sometimes like this have 2 killers. And a lot of like enemies defeated bonuses, which is great because these quests do go on for quite a bit. I guess we can sub them here. SA2 on that enemy. On a rookie in that case. Maybe, to be fair, I should have someone here, but maybe not actually. Can I use the SA3 correctly? Unfortunately not. Rookie is a human, but our increased chance is not restricted to enemies that aren't, you know, that we don't have cure against. So that's actually really good. It kind of feels weird to have an increased chance nowadays, given that a lot of characters do not have it against enemies that they don't have killer against, you know? So it feels good. Like, the last, like, really good character that we have been given that isn't a farming character that has an increased status and chance against everyone, at least his attribute was basically 1000 Blood with Ishin right before the 9th anniversary. So in this case, obviously, to no one's surprise, Links or Trials is going to be a good place to use him, as he can clear in under 1 minute. But like I mentioned, this is co-op, in single player, you can just auto it. You get less pots when it comes to Links or Trials, but let's just do an example run of how to set up your team with this character. So in this case, we'll just throw in 3 characters that are increasing our links or potion drop rate and also super links or potions, and getting 10 super links or potions and 5 links or potions from ASKIN, 10 super links or potions from Hallibel and 5 links or potions from Matu, and then Juicero, just to balance out the links or potion drop rate, we have gone ahead and used him for the additional 10 links or potions. But then again, I could just do Uryu, to be fair, to get a good balance, super links or potion drop rate, and also droplets too. If you have any links or potion drop rate, and if you have any links or potion or super links or potion soul traits, definitely throw it onto these characters just to get more drops. So when it comes to single player links or trials, the character doesn't have killer and he never will, since there are hollow enemies here. But like I said, it's single player, you can just auto this. You don't even need to use ASKIN as a main if you don't want to. As long as the character is on the team, he's being used efficiently, right? But we can basically stop him wherever we want to, like we did just there. Probably have one more room. The enemies themselves are positioned a tad bit awkward, but yeah, like I said, you're probably going to auto this content if you are reliably farming it. And while we aren't doing a 10 times run right now, you can do that. I'm just going to do 5 times because I don't need to do a 10 times run, but you definitely can if you want to. And in this case, this is what the drop rates are looking like. Again, a tad bit less compared to co-op, but the benefit here is that you can do this a lot faster. You don't need to wait for other players to join your room. You can do 10 times soul tickets, and you're actually getting more super links or potions in this case. You're getting significantly less droplets, but over time, this does add up because you are getting all 3. And there are also other ways to farm it. If you want droplets, you can also go epic raids. But I wanted to throw this in because honestly, farming in single player is honestly not a bad idea. And it's actually quicker because again, you can do that 10 times soul ticket run. Next up, let's take him into Epic Raids, where currently he is a bonus against the ultimate Kenpachi Epic Raid, with that he is getting that 3 times damage output and also 100 additional medals. Of course, the main reason why you would want to use this character this month is the fact that he's a bonus, so you are getting the extra medals, and you're also getting the additional links or potions and droplets if, again, you care about those. Build this time around is basically the exact same. The difference, though, is that we now have the Familiars, giving us 60% Berserker and also 60% more damage at full stamina. So, jumping into our first Kenpachi Epic Raid, the best part here with ASKIN is that we're going to be constantly applying the Spiritual Pressure boost. His strong attacks, like I already mentioned, well, not the greatest set of strong attacks. It is actually pretty good for Epic Raid. It doesn't really lock him in place. The SA2 does to a certain extent, but you can quickly get out of it super fast. So even though this character does have range collision, I don't think he's going to struggle much against Epic Raid content. And again, this is a character you can technically use a lot in Epic Raids, regardless of him being a bonus character or not. With a Sorry Bat and a Ranka killer set, more often than not, this character is going to have killers, so he's always doing that extra damage. And a lot of characters that we have been showcasing, like I already mentioned, since their increased status and chance is only against their killer, it does make them a bit awkward when using in guild quests. But when the stars align and they do have killer, it's actually very good. I think the best example is the performance of Ichigo versus Okura. You know, Ichigo was then able to solo the most recent Epic Raid, but Okura was mainly because he has killer. So that's some things that these, you know, new characters that do have their increased stars and chance against one killer, one enemy. It does mean that sometimes in Epic Raids, they're not nearly as good, but when they are good, they're really good. In the case for ASKIN, he's just going to be very consistent, constantly applying his spiritual pressure boost because he always is going to have his increased stars and chance. And with Poison, he can reliably fake that super often. So in this case, for our first run, super easily done, very likely going to get a consistent sub 40 second play time. Alrighty then, into our second run, we did have one disconnect, so we are a man down, and that might affect our scores, maybe not, or our play times. So again, that SA2 instantly inflicts a Stasm with the increased Stasm chance, right? And with Poison Plus, all our ASKINs here, everyone can get their spiritual pressure boost and reliably deal more damage. Now, I took some damage here, so unfortunately, my damage output has been lowered a tad bit, but it's honestly fine. And before anyone does ask why the Suboms are glitching, my refresh rate is higher in the game, so that does cause Suboms to look a bit goofy when the other player does end up skipping it. So let's just dodge out the way. I haven't even bothered using my Soul Bomb, so it seems like it's going to be a very easy month for ASKIN when it comes to Epic Raid content. And in terms of value, he might be one of the better ones to farm because you are getting the extra potions, the extra droplets, and also the extra medals. In this case, despite being a man down, despite me not even using weakened defense on my Soul Bomb, or even using my Soul Bomb, we are getting a 28-second playtime. So let's go ahead and make this our final Epic Raid run. No need to do more than 3 because it does seem consistent enough. Spiritual Pressure Boost has been applied on our second strong attack. Let's just use the SA3. Good damage there. Right now, again, we are quite fortunate enough to have killer. But I think in the grand scheme of things, it isn't going to matter all too much. But like I said, there's plenty of Epic Raids that have Sorry for Xenoron cars. And I think with the current schedule right now, Likely there are more of those than anything else. Are there any epic raids that don't have a Swordbolt or Ronka? I'm sure there's one out there, but none really come to my mind right now, besides maybe Yuhavak. So let's dodge out of the way. Unfortunately, I took a hit there. But that is because I do have long shot on the character. More often than not, you don't want to have long shot on your characters for epic raids. It does make dodging a bit more difficult. However, given the map layout for this one, long shot honestly isn't too bad. Just be careful of not doing what I just did right there. Dodging straight into the wall. Some pretty good, consistent runs in epic raids. 34-second clear time, getting a good amount of medals, good amount of droplets, and a good amount of links or potions. But keep in mind, I wasn't limiting my lobby to only have ASKIN. If I really wanted links or potions, I could set the room requirements for that, and that way you can get more if you do want those. For me, right now, I just wanted to see how he did perform in epic raids, so I wasn't limiting who was joining me. Last up, though, let's check him out in the Senon Quest. I guess this will be a new additions to our showcases to see if they can beat these stages. So what we're going to do is put him against Stage 1, Mission Set Free, Stage 2, Mission Set Free, and Stage 3, Mission Set Free. That way, it basically proves that you can use the character in any stage you want to, and given that Quincy's and Stellar don't have that many characters, they have been recently though, if you have still yet to beat these quests, ASKIN unironically might help you towards beating that. Because even if you use him in Stage 1, Mission Set 1, he is still contributing and allowing you to use a better character in the later stages. So for Stage 1, Mission Set Free, we only have to use one accessory. In this case, we're going to use the Quincy Cross. So we have to clear this mission in under 1 minute. And obviously, since it's the Stage 1, it's going to be relatively easy. The difficulty will be increased over time. But I think he's going to be able to easily handle all the stages. In this case, we might... Okay, maybe don't sub him there. Maybe don't sub him there. The sub him, though, does apply poison. That's going to be really good for actually, you know, just doing boss damage. It's been a while since we've had to care about, you know... boss killers is what we used to call him back in the day, but we can just push him back. Can't guarantee the status proc, but that SA1 again is actually really good. It's very similar to Aaroniero. It can push back quite far, and it deals a lot of damage if it does get all the hits off, and it does get all the hits off. So, Stage 1, Mission Set Free, to no one's surprise, he can clear in under 1 minute. For Stage 2, Mission Set Free, we only want to bring one character link, so we get to use all 3 accessories, making it even easier for us. And this time around, we are actually up against Soripers, so it's even better. Remember, we do not have an increased chance against Soripers, just speed enemies. So this enemy here, despite just having killer, doesn't mean that we're reliably going to inflict the status ailments, but in a case like this, the range collision is definitely helping here, just from inflicting status ailments for the most part. Let's make sure to not take any damage. So you definitely want to push back the enemies if you can. The lack of recharge is a tad bit noteworthy here. Maybe he actually can't beat this stage due to the lack of recharge. We do have 1 minute. So let's go here. We have 21 seconds to go. Can we actually beat all of them? Let's soap them. Does the someone do anything? Unfortunately not. I think in this case, what we are seeing is way too many power enemies. Well, let me just use my Nad String. I want to see going into the final boss. We actually can't clear it under a minute. And the final boss being power is kind of against us. But how much damage does that SA1 do? Not too much. I don't think we got all the hits off. Let's push back again. We got the status proc there, but it doesn't seem like ASKIN is able to beat Stage 2, Mission Set Free, unfortunately. So what I'm seeing here is that you likely want to keep him for Stage 1, Mission Set 1, 2, or 3. Probably keep him away from Stage 2, given all the power enemies that we are coming against. But when it comes to Stage 3, Mission Set 3, technically the more difficult one here, we do have also the advantage of having strong attack damage ×2, and this time, while we can't use any accessories, we can use 3 links. So let me just quickly go ahead and change my links here, just to offer a better stat advantage. And this should be a lot better for us, because we are able to use our strong attacks more consistently. Using a strong attack character like this without any recharge is a bit of a hindrance, especially when you have to clear under a minute. So him not being able to clear Stage 2 Mission Set 3 probably isn't even that big of a deal, to be honest. Because at the very least, you can use him in any of the other stages. Like, look at this. This one's a lot more impressive. We're already into the final boss, who is Zyropro and a Ronka, so we are getting that increased status and chance. But again, we can just keep him back, push him away, dodge the Soul Bomb, and then finish up with the almost the SA1, the normal attack string instead. So when it comes to the Quincy Senkamon, you can use him in Stage 3 and Stage 1, not so much Stage 2 unless you are going to use him in an early mission set. So overall, I personally believe ASKIN is a solid character, all things considered. I think he's going to be a much better character if you are a newer player. Most people, myself included, are disregarding this character instantly, probably rightfully so, because he is just a farming character. I, as someone who has maxed out my entire box, don't need any links or potions, so this character, what he supplied to my account, doesn't really matter all that much. While we couldn't showcase it in today's video, I'd like to hope that he has some decent performance in the ranged story bit and a ranking guild quests. And while he might not be the best character for that, that's perfectly fine. I have the best characters for the ranged story bit and a ranking guild quests. This character, like already mentioned, is probably going to be a budget character for that, for those that don't have the Technique Giselle and the Speed Bambietta. More options for a guild quest phase, in my opinion, is never a bad thing. But despite Killer making it a farming character, there's some other good things too about him, right? The 2 killers does add to his usability. The complete status immunity is good for a character like this that in a way is wanting to maybe be used in a lot of different content where there'll be a lot of different status elements on the floor, whether that's Senkamon, guild quests, links or trials, epic raids. He has 2 soul traits, so you can get a use out of him there. And like we already just demonstrated, he is a Quincy character, so he will help you beat the Quincy Senkamon stages, in which he can be used in stage 1 and also 3. I think if anything, maybe the best part about this character is that if you are an ASKIN fan, you get to play with a new ASKIN in a pretty cool seasonal outfit, in my opinion, especially if you are a fan of Alchemist. And it's also, in a way, the first playable spiritual pressure ASKIN. I think his kit, despite it having its raid collision, is honestly perfectly fine. So a pretty mid-okay character for endgame veteran accounts. For new players, though, I think this character is actually really useful. And even for mid-game accounts, for those that don't have the best leads for the range, story bat, and a ranking guild quest, maybe he will be a good option. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned, because we definitely are going to showcase him in the upcoming ranged, story bat, and ranking guild quest, because I myself am curious to see how he is going to perform. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Take care, and peace.